Listen in for some positivity and good times. The views and opinions of our guests may not necessarily reflect those of the host or the Vibes Broadcast Network. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes, and this is part 5 of my talk on the spiritual journey, which is The Wizard of Oz. Now, starting this one off, we'll go back to talking about the tornado. And if you remember in one of my previous videos, and if you haven't seen it, please go back and watch them all. We discussed that the tornado was a symbol for the kind of turmoil and stuff that Dorothy has going on in her life. Dorothy is opted out of running away from home now because of her attachment to her aunt. That's the emotional attachment to society. She wants to go back to society, let's put it that way. The tornado is, of course, her emotional turmoil, and her family goes into the storm shelter when all this tornado and the storm's going on. But the storm also is going to symbolize transcending the ego, to kind of get her to the path to her journey. Her family's in the shelter. Dorothy is locked out, kind of indicative to how if we're on a spiritual path, we're locked out of society. You see it when there's so many, how do I want to put this? It's like you watch movies and television, and the thought of being righteous or godly is pretty much mocked. So when you're a spiritual person and you're trying to do the right thing, it's almost like you're shunned by society. So she's now pretty much forced to go on her journey to enlightenment. And the storm, like I said, it is symbolizing transcending this self, this ego that we have, and for a bigger and better purpose. So now she has to deal with her isolation. She has to deal with her fear, and she's going to have to deal with her path. It's pretty much laid out in front of her. It's like destiny. And when she's looking out the window and you see all these different things in her life flying by the window, it's like her life is flashing before her very eyes. This is like a symbol for death, but she's not physically dying. She's dying to this self, and she's going to awaken as her spiritual self. So this is the earthly self dying, preparing for the spiritual awakening, or ego death. And as I said before about the witch being her evil self, she must destroy it. And the first time that she kills a witch, which is the Wicked Witch of the East, this is not the evil per se. This is more of the judgment that she has on herself. So when it lands, kills that witch, and now she's about to step out into her journey. And if you remember in the movie, now you're going from black and white kind of being the mundane life that she's been leading all this time, and now it's color, and it's like the world is opened up to her. She's seeing the bigger picture. Things are starting to become a lot more clear for her. The silence that's going on, because if you remember, everything just goes dead silent. It's kind of like meditating or prayer. Life was boring, and then all of a sudden something happened to make things change, which, being that we don't have to go back through it, but the whole thing about her neighbor hitting Toto and wanting to destroy him. Now she's going to meet the Munchkins. The Munchkins, just like that inner child. It's innocence. It's being free of the guilt and the self-judgment. And she's a hero now for killing the witch, or as I said, the self-judgment. And the next spiral that she's going to go down, because the good witch shows up and it's going to tell her, this is how you're going to get home. You've got to follow the yellow brick road. The yellow brick road starts out in a spiral pattern going out. This is a whole new spiral in her life, and it's not going out of control. It's like spiraling upwards. And it's also the gold is a symbol for the light, or enlightenment, if you want to say. She doesn't have all the knowledge as of yet. So when she's going down her path, and even though it's a straight path, I believe she kind of comes to a decision making. It'll split off. And this is when she meets the Scarecrow. Scarecrow is looking for a brain or looking for knowledge. If you remember also, when he came down off of his little perch there, he can't really stand up. Kind of like didn't have that backbone yet. That's more symbolic of you need more than just knowledge in order to stand on your own 2 feet. So, I mean, you haven't quite got to enlightenment yet. You're going to need that knowledge. It's a big tool, but that's not the only thing you need. So whenever you get into it's like preaching, and you learn about the Bible, and that's great, and you need to know the Bible, but that's not all it's going to take in order to get to bring people to Christ or to get your own spiritual enlightenment. When you're on that path, it's a change of heart as well, and it does take courage. And I think you kind of see where I'm going with this. We'll get to that as we go along. Just remember this: if you decide that you want to change your life, it's not going to be easy. It can be scary. And when I wanted to change and I wanted to quit doing all the drugs and alcohol and stuff that I did, I wasn't sure how I was going to move forward because it seemed like it was a part of me. I wanted to party on the weekends. That was my escape. I thought I was going to be missing out on something and giving up all the other things that I was doing wrong in my life. So how was I going to keep that in, what I thought was happiness? And it really wasn't. You'll find those things they're kind of a Band-Aid, I guess you'd say. It's a temporary fix, but it's not real happiness. It's fake. Life was so mundane. And then when I got out of that black and white part of my life and got into the more colorful part of my life, and I saw a bigger picture, I saw that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Life became joyous again. Unfortunately, when we're on that path, sometimes we get to that fork in the road and you don't always want to keep on the right path. It's not easy. There's times when I get so down. I want life just to end. But we can't think that way. We're doing this more than just for us too. There's people in our lives that they look to us, whether it be our children or grandchildren, maybe it's friends, maybe it's other people in your family. If they see that you're going to stay on the path, it might make it easier for them to stay on the path. Nobody said this was going to be easy. But you got to pick some things up along the way that's going to help your journey. Knowledge, that's the first step. So I'm going to leave it at that. We've got a lot more to talk about. And until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network